Hello and welcome to Mission Impactful, where we learn from local nonprofits who are making it their mission to create a positive impact. Hi everyone, I'm Tara Thompson-Cusack, President and CEO of the Nonprofit Network Alliance and the Troy Chamber of Commerce, but most importantly, your host. First, I'd like to take a moment and thank our presenting sponsor, Austin Benefits Group. Stay tuned to learn about the Austin Advantage and how they can benefit your group. So today we have a great show ahead of us. We are going to be meeting with Dawn Caracallo from New Horizons, a local nonprofit who provides customizable skill building, job training, and job placement services to individuals facing barriers to employment, with the ultimate outcome of gainful employment. So Dawn is the Director of Public Relations, and she brings 34 years of professional experience, and during her tenure at New Horizons, she has served in multiple roles, including job coach for work-based learning post-secondary special education students. That was a long one for me. Services coordinator, and for the past 12 years as the Director of Public Relations. She is a graduate of Central Michigan University, where she earned a degree in journalism with a minor in advertising and marketing. So Dawn, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So to get things started off, why don't you tell us a little bit about New Horizons?
Yes, thank you. First of all, thanks for the opportunity. I love to talk about our agency and our mission. So New Horizons was actually started by a grassroots parents group.
Okay.
So imagine, take you back to 1964. This is during the time of the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
And individuals with different disabilities had no rights. Public schools were not open to them. A lot of them were institutionalized, and that was just the times and what parents were told to do.
Yeah.
So these grassroots parents said, no, my son and daughter deserve better. Let's come up with a different idea. And so they started their very own first vocational day program.
Okay.
So it was actually started in Royal Oak out of a small little building. Well, it grew, and 1964, they decided to incorporate it, make it a 501c3, and it took off from there. So it's great, humble beginnings.
So it's interesting, though. You're saying this started as a small grassroots organization,
Yes.
and you guys have substantially grown.
Yes, we have.
So tell us a little bit about the growth trajectory
Sure.
of this.
So, it started off in small vocational in Royal Oak, as I had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Then it grew. Then it grew into Farmington Hills, then Pontiac, and then Oakland County was, of course, a huge county and growing at the time. And so more and more parents heard about this and decided they want this for their sons and daughters and to learn skills. We also started, it's through a military contract called Ability One.
Okay.
And they provided contract work for people to work on, for sewing contracts for military drawers, for example. We still do it to this day. We're located in our big headquarters in Auburn Hills. We have a whole manufacturing side. And it's kind of an unknown hidden secret.
That is a very big secret.
Yeah. So even has, done by New Horizons, right in the tag for the military. And they're very proud of that. And it provided different opportunities because not everybody has the same skill level. So some maybe be able to, thread. Some may be able to sew. Some may be able to just bag it, tag it. There's all different positions for them to do. So, and then also back in the day, we contracted with a lot of auto manufacturing companies to do piecework.
A good area for
Yes,
that. Great.
and hence why we're in that area. So we're located, like I said, off Cross Creek Plaza in Auburn Hills, but we provide services all throughout southeastern Michigan and grew.
Okay, so we're talking services. So let's talk through what those are. Talk me through some of the programs and services.
So we also, I want to just mention, because it's a big part of what we do, we contract with school districts. So we work with Oakland County, Macomb County, and Genesee school districts.
What age ranges?
So it can start as early as 14 and all the way up to post-secondary.
Okay.
So once they graduate, or if they get certificate, they can go through till the state of Michigan till the age of 26. So we provide youth transition services, which helps them build a resume, start to think about where do they want to go? Where's their path? Do they want to go to college? If college isn't a path for them, do they want to go to vocational training or get a job? So that's a big part of what we do. We also do supportive employment, which is simply working at a business, but we provide the job coach to be there at the business, because businesses don't have time, they're busy, and so we provide the job coaching and help them through learning the job and the skill.
Give me a few, like a kind of like an example of what that means.
So for example, at the Great Lakes Crossing Mall, we have a crew that works in the dining area in the food court.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have a couple individuals there that has a job coach that picks them up, drives them, takes them to their job, and they work there at the mall and clean up and keep the food court area beautifully clean. So we've been doing that for years. We also have different manufacturing companies that may hire our folks, and we bring them in, and again, work with them, train them, and then sometimes and very often they are hired at the end.
That's awesome.
So it's great, yes.
So you and I both know any nonprofit that is successful has to have successful outcomes.
Yes.
Some measurable outcomes that
Absolutely.
showcase what you're doing makes sense and is making an impact.
Absolutely.
So give me some examples of those outcomes. Give me a good story. Give me a
Oh
story.
gosh,
my love.
there's so many great success stories. And for all of you watching, please go to our website at newhorizonsrehab.org, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
I'd love. You can tell she's in PR, can't we? Can't we all tell that?
So anyhow, there's so many great stories. One that just sticks out because it's recently been, we have a big annual awards ceremony where we're honoring people we serve in October, and a gentleman that's been working with somebody just submitted a story, so it's fresh in my head. So this gentleman wanted to become, his goal was he wanted to be a yoga instructor. So our staff took him through what's called a customized employment program, where you really dive deep into and explore what types of careers or interests this person has and what would really make a good fit. In other words, kind of carving out a niche.
Yeah.
So
utilizing the same skill sets too to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And so anyway, long story short,
A yoga studio, I believe it's called Holy Yoga Detroit.
opened their doors, let him come in, saw his enthusiasm and his passion for it, and actually helped him to get certified. So he is now a certified yoga instructor.
He's a yogi.
So yeah, so that's just one of lots of different examples. We work with people of all types of disabilities, from A to Z's. We're not specialized in any particular one. There's visually impaired, hearing impaired, autism, cognitive impairment. So everyone's runs the gamut. So the thing that makes me the most proud of our agency is that we have always stuck to our same mission since 1964, and that's that everybody deserves to be trained, have a skill, and be part of their community. That's the whole idea. And that they do add value in whatever way that may be. Sometimes it's just being part of the community volunteering. We do Meals on Wheels, for example, in several different areas. So.
See, it's funny. I'm seeing your eyes kind of slightly well up when you tell the stories.
Yes.
And it's one of those things I think people, well, yes, we look at those metrics, those measurable moments of saying, hey, this is making sense. This is what's working. It's the stories.
It is.
It's the people. It's the success. It's those moments and feeling of pride that you're capable of doing so many things.
And can I just say, they are the most humble, pure, great people you'll ever meet. And once they meet you once, they'll know you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
We can't get emotional before we get to our
I know,
commercial
but
break.
It is the truth. A lot of times businesses we work with, whether it's just a partnership or whether it's just they're doing some sort of job shadowing, often will come back and give us testimonials that they were just, them and their whole entire staff were so moved by it, and their culture changed by bringing in and being inclusive.
Well, we're better when we're all together.
For sure.
And I know that sounds like a silly statement that, ooh, all ships rise, all those things, but the reality is we learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And everybody brings something different to the table,
Yes,
and
they do.
everybody provides such a strong value.
Yes.
So I
100%.
was like, all right, then we're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. Just give us 1 second and stay tuned and hear a word from our presenting sponsor, Austin Benefits Group. We'll be right back.
It's Dean Austin, President and CEO of Austin Benefits Group, proudly serving as the official benefit provider of the Detroit Lions radio network. Is your HR team helping you grow your business, or are they swamped with the day-to-day services that your current broker should be doing? The right benefits company can make your team feel valued, supported, leading to massive wins. Elevate your business. Empower your team with the Austin Advantage. Let's build a healthier, stronger Detroit together.
Welcome back to Mission Impactful, presented by Austin Benefits Group. We are here with Dawn from New Horizons. So, Dawn, you know, New Horizons, you guys have such a fantastic reputation. We all know that. But what are some of the misconceptions around New Horizons and some of the things that you guys are doing?
Sure, thank you. So the number one misconception is that we're just looking for charity. We are not. When we reach out to businesses for whether it be supportive employment opportunities, internships, job shadowing, whatever it may be, we want to bring a qualified candidate to you. We're not expecting you have a business to run. We're not expecting to interrupt your services. That's why we will, from A to Z, take care of everything that's needed. So we want to make that clear to businesses. We respect that you have a business to run, and we just want to be given the opportunity to open the doors for people to skill build, learn, job shadow, whatever program they decide to join with us, we appreciate.
So it's funny that you say that, because I talk to so many companies on a daily basis, you know that. But it's funny, when we talk about even internships, you see the look of people's face of like, oh gosh, I don't have time to train that. I don't have time to do any of that. Sure. I could see how that would be even more difficult when you're saying, oh, here's some candidates who are special in certain aspects. They're completely skilled and capable, but we're going to provide those resources. What are some of those like training resources that you are working with companies to do?
Yes. So first I want to give an example. So every year we partner with different school districts that I mentioned earlier, and there's a summer internship program called Pre-ETS. So Pre-ETS provides internships for students who are enrolled in special education, still in school, but during the summer want to do some skill building and work. So we provide job coaches, work with local businesses, and take the students in each day during the summer for a period of time. I think it's a 6-week program. Okay. And oftentimes after the business experience this, they end up hiring because they're like, wow.
We have loyal employees now?
We have loyal employees. They actually enjoy doing these jobs.
Yeah.
Years ago, when the Palace of Auburn Hills was still in Auburn Hills,
oh, now we're talking past.
We had a whole crew that used to go and clean up the stands after concerts, and that manager of the hospitality won beautification awards. And he's like, where else am I getting qualified staff brought to me and that enjoy the work that often others find mundane or has high turnover rates, for example?
So I do want to take a little step back to what we talked about a little bit earlier. You mentioned that you're obviously working with colleges as well and trade programs. Firstly, thank you, because I think sometimes people think everyone belongs in college. Right. And that doesn't have to be everyone's path. So I appreciate that you're also considering and looking in trades programs. Absolutely. But how do we work with each individual and try to find the best place for them?
Yep. So we have employment specialists and job coaches that are trained specifically to work with them. We get referrals from Michigan Rehabilitation Services, Community Health Network, different agencies that will present the candidate to us, and then they take them through the skills and resume building and provide the opportunities based on what their skill set is.
Right.
So
I love that. So obviously, before we wrap things up, how can businesses or organizations or even individuals kind of team up with New Horizons and make an impact?
Thank you for asking that. So many different ways.
So see, that's why we waited to the end. I was like, this could be the hour
we don't
ending.
expect you out of the bat hire our candidates. We would love that, but it's not 100% expected. So would you be open for a job shadow? In other words, a set up time and date where our job coach brings in a candidate to explore a job, explore what that career field may be. The summer programs that we do for internships, would you be willing to be part of a 6-week program where we bring in individuals, we do the work you need, we do not bother you, the job coaches work with them, you can continue on with your business, but you have the extra help. Or often too, businesses don't realize 1 in 4 adults, according to the CDC, have a disability. 1 in 4. So we also help with businesses with accommodations. So most businesses know they have to have wheelchair accessibility and all the
Your
things.
ADA compliance.
Correct.
Yeah.
However, there's other ways of accommodations to help people with different types of disabilities. And so we can help with that. We have the education and knowledge to assess and work with businesses to create a accommodation that maybe they didn't even think of. And it doesn't often have to sometimes it doesn't cost anything, but sometimes it can be very minimal, and then you can bring in a candidate that's very, perfect for this job. So we have people that we work with, for example, that have college degrees, but they're hearing impaired or visually impaired, and they're struggling. So it's just getting that door open, and we just ask businesses, please, just open the door, give it a chance.
Well, I like the fact that you do the job shadowing piece. I know that sounds silly, but you're not wrong. I think you just have to be introduced.
Yes.
And once you're introduced, you're seeing there's really not that much differences. It's the reality of like, hey, why don't we open up some of these opportunities?
Absolutely.
And I love that you do that because that's kind of a simple touch.
Yes.
So I kind of think everyone listening who works at a business should maybe give you a call and figure out how we can take that next
Please,
step.
call us.
So, Dawn, thank you so much for
Thank
joining us.
you for having me. I
appreciate
appreciate it. Yep.
So, guys, that's all we have here today on Mission Impactful, presented by Austin Benefits Group. We're so grateful to have your support. And, guys, why don't we take today and make it your mission to be impactful? Have a great rest of your day.
My name is Crystal, and I work here at McDonald's. I prepare food, I clean the tables, the chairs, and the bathrooms. I got this job through New Horizons.
We looked at McDonald's early on. She was quickly hired and is doing a great job. She's has some barriers to employment, and she's done a really good job of becoming one of the team.
She has a strong work ethic. She wants to do a good job. If I could schedule more hours, I would. She'd be a good asset to the team.
I'm most proud of how hard I've worked and showing that I'm a deaf person and I'm able to work at McDonald's.
You never know how someone's going to do on a job. Are they going to like it? Are they going to fit in with the culture? And Crystal just did a really good job making it work.
My advice for deaf people is that you can do anything. You can find a job. Don't be afraid. Just keep going.